Welcome to the Bottom Line. I'm Pastor Rick Utze from Maranatha in Plain City, Ohio. You know, I was reading an article about this eruption that happened, and there was these seismic sensors in the world that was capturing this rumbling, this hum that was going on, and they couldn't figure out what was happening. They couldn't see anything. They didn't know what caused it until there was an island off the coast of Africa. And the residents of that island said, we felt something, like there's something very close by that was happening, that was rumbling, that was continuing to rumble. And they actually discovered that there was an underwater eruption. And like there's this volcano, I think it was like 800 meters high, and I forget how big it is. It was huge. It actually shifted this island a couple inches and made it sink a little bit because there was so much earth, magma, all that stuff that was moved in the process of this. And fishermen would see fish that were dying because of the heat and the bubbles and everything that was coming out of it. But people were blind to what was actually going on because they actually couldn't see the formation of this huge mass because it was all underwater. It was hidden from view of the human eyes. And it reminds me of what the Bible says, what Paul says in 2 Corinthians 4. It says, if the good news we preach is hidden behind a veil, it is hidden only from people who are perishing. Satan, who is the god of this world, has blinded the minds of those who don't believe. They are unable to see the glorious light of the good news. They don't understand this message about the glory of Christ, who is the exact likeness of God. So Paul is just saying, the good news is being preached. Jesus Christ is being preached. People are unable to see the glory of this light of Jesus Christ because Satan, the god of this world, has blinded them. Like they're so blind, they're just pursuing darkness, pursuing their own way. So how does God help get this message across to us, to you and me, to the community, to the world? And it goes on, and I think this is a big answer in verse 8. You know, Paul says, we are pressed on every side by troubles. Like there's this pressure of Paul. It says, but we are not crushed. We are perplexed, but not driven to despair. We are hunted down, but never abandoned by God. We get knocked down, but we are not destroyed. Through suffering, and verse 10 is where I'm going to get to the meat of this. But he's saying there's all these pressures. There's things going on that God causes to come into our lives that cause pressure, upheaval, right? Things are happening in our lives that cause pain. Like it is pain and suffering, I think, that helps get us see. Listen to what it says in verse 10. Through suffering, our bodies continue to share in the death of Jesus so that the life of Jesus may also be seen in our bodies. I think this pressure comes to allow us to see our own weaknesses first and foremost, to allow us, even as believers, to see where we are walking away from God, where we're depending on self-sufficiency, where we're looking to get our security and rest in this world. And Paul is just saying God has a way of bringing suffering and pain into our lives to let us know that the things of this world aren't what we get our rest and satisfaction in. And he goes on, it says, yes, we live under constant danger of death because we serve Jesus so that the life of Jesus will be evident in our dying bodies. You know, he's just saying God is revealing something, not only to us, but as the world watches and the message is preached, the world watches his messengers and it sees what do they do in the midst of suffering and pain. Like God uses that because he knows our nature, our tendency of all of us is to continue walking after our own desires, our own self-sufficiency. And if we can get our security and safety in this world, we will continue to walk that way. So I want us to see, and C.S. Lewis has really helped me see this, that it is really the pain. Pain is a good thing because it allows us to see what's going on in our own lives, in our desires. It brings the message of Jesus Christ alive to us and to other people. So here's the bottom line. We don't want to mistake the things of this world, right, as our eternal home. We don't want to be blinded to the fact that the light of the glory of Jesus Christ, who's the exact image of God, he is our rest. He is our promise. We are hidden in him, and our future is secure only in him. And God will do whatever he needs to do, which is more often than not to bring pain into our lives to allow us to see Him for who He is. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on The Bottom Line.